I'm Pat Younge. I'm the founder and director of We Create Associates, which is a consultancy in the space of media, technology, innovation and creativity. Prior to this, I used to run BBC Production, which is about 3,000 programme makers across the UK, making some of the world's biggest shows like Top Gear, Strictly Come Dancing, BBC Natural History and Doctor Who. I think creativity is very important for businesses because if you look at the landscape now, most businesses are being disrupted by digital in general and the internet in particular, and they need to come up with new products, new services and new business models in order to satisfy consumer need. Now, the heart of that process of coming up with new ideas is creativity and a creative process. There are some common mistakes that most organisations make when it comes to creativity. First of all, they have a culture which says creativity is the thing which is done by the creative team or by the business development unit. They don't make it clear that creativity is something that belongs to everybody, and we must all be able to look for new ways of doing what we do, whether that's operations, products, services, business models. Second common mistake that companies make is that they have an ideas box or they have a new fancy platform and people submit ideas and nothing happens to them. And there is no quicker way to kill your culture than to go out to your staff to tell them that their ideas matter and then to ignore them. Because what it says is your ideas are meaningless. When I was at the BBC, we had a problem. We weren't coming up with enough ideas to win commissions from our commissioners, and that meant we weren't generating enough intellectual property to support our business BBC Worldwide. And what we decided to do was to introduce a crowd sharing platform called I Create, and we invited everybody in production to submit ideas to this platform. In order to make that platform work, we had a common language where they had to answer 6 questions, which we call Co-Star. Who is the customer? What is the opportunity? What's your story? What team will you need to do this? What advantage is there for this idea over other ideas in the marketplace? And what results should we expect? And by getting everybody to use those same 6 questions, we all had a language with which we could discuss the results. We had something like 1,000 ideas, we had 8,000 or 9,000 comments, and we were starting to get our first commissions, our first pieces of new business were coming from the platform. For example, we had a guy in health and safety who submitted an idea about a single dad bringing up 2 children on his own, and it was a comedy. A woman in Scotland, some 300 miles away, had read a book called How to Get Things Really Flat, which is about a male approach to ironing. And she said, have you read this book? Because I think it, combined with your idea, it could make a really interesting idea. When the comedy department saw those 2 things come together, they thought this is really interesting. And so what's happened is that project has gone to script, and they've now got a professional producer and writer in to try and turn that into a new sitcom. That's what a proper creative process can do. Get new ideas from people that haven't submitted in the past and engage everybody else in the business to try and make those ideas stronger. I think the big lessons that we learned from BBC I Create, which was our own crowdsourcing platform which involved 3,000 people in our business, is that if you give people a common language, if you do the work to explain to them why new ideas are necessary for the future of the business and what role they have to play in coming up with new ideas, and if you make it easy for them to submit ideas and to comment on other people's ideas, and have a very clear process of evaluation so they know what's happened to their ideas, then you can make things happen.